ISUPK.
Chief, as our chancellor was talking, he talked about checking the boxes, that often students are checking the boxes, and at the end of this experience, they're hoping for gainful employment, livable wages. We know often in our communities, even as our young men are going about checking the boxes, doing the right things, and also doing the typical activities of teenagers, that they find themselves encountering the police. And I ask this as the daughter of a retired law enforcement officer who also led our cadet program in my community in North Central Florida. At the National Black Child Development Institute, one of the overwhelming questions we get is, what do we do? When my child has the initial encounter, how do I navigate to ensure that my child isn't found 2 years later in this vicious cycle of detention, and return, and we know that often when it starts in middle school it continues. We've talked so much about preschool to prison pipelines and the like, but what is the counsel that you would give parents when that first engagement with law enforcement occurs?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I get that question probably as frequently as you have heard it. And so this is the way that I try to answer that question, is that I think that human beings have two pretty strong emotions that they deal with in circumstances. They deal with passion, and then they deal with logic. And sometimes passion can get in the way of logic. If something that's critically passionate to you personally, it can make you abandon your logic and act in a passionate way as opposed to a logical way. And so I would say that anyone who is being treated differently because of who they are is going to automatically go to the passionate side of the brain. And they're going to, in most cases, respond passionately. And what I urge young people to do is if they find themselves in a situation where they're having an interaction with a police officer, that they try to go to the logical side. And to try and deal with it. The best move is to get out of that situation and then pursue it later in a logical way. Take it to a mentor. In Washington, D.C., we're very fortunate. You have an Office of Police Complaints, which is an independent agency. I can tell you in a leadership position at MPD, and I expect this of all of my leaders, that we don't want our police officers treating anybody with disrespect. It's the #1 rule that we have on the police department, is that everybody gets treated respectfully. And so if they find themselves in that situation, what I would say, this is asking a lot of a human being. Try to not go to the passionate side that might get you into a worse position and exacerbate a situation. Be logical, say I'm going to let this thing go, I'm going to move on, and then I'm going to file it with a higher authority and hope that that higher authority deals with it in an appropriate way. And if they don't, I can tell you, you can come to me, you can come to the council member, you can go to OPC to address this issue, because I don't think anybody sitting in this room or anybody in this city wants our police officers treating folks with disrespect.
We're going to open for questions. There's a microphone here, stationed in the middle of this aisle. please make your way.
It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take breath. My soldiers take breath till I'm stand down.
Please be brief. And please be brief with your question. We have time for 3 questions, and then we'll be wrapping up the panel. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We teach on 7th and 8th Street Northwest. We teach black people who they are according to the Bible. And with that being said, we had a little get-together with the Iceland president, the ex-president of 20 years, Ragnar. He came to the camp and he listened, and we began to explain to him the problems that we have had for 400 years in America as black people. And as he listened, he said that there's a difference between the types of people that you're speaking of when you refer to your slave master. And so with that being said, we showed him that we all descend from a certain few men in the scriptures, right? And so with that being said, our family of black people, you understand, we have lost our direction because we don't know who we are. And with that said, the reasonableness of the people that are over us in these communities now must be the test, not us looking at our passion as something that should be struck down as whether or not we're right or wrong. You understand? The Supreme Court says that reasonableness is the test that the officer should maintain at all times when dealing with the public, as far as that's concerned. And so I just wanted to read one scripture. I don't have a question. I don't have a question. I'd like to make a comment.
Could you allow those who have questions and then circle back for your statement, please? Please. I promise I'll come back to you.
I'll be brief with the statement. It's just one scripture in particular. Yes, sir. It's 2 Corinthians.
You're not trying to do a statement.
You're not trying to do a statement. Okay, but I'd like to know what my business is as a part of this question, this scripture I'm reading. Have ye not cast out the priests of the Lord, the sons of Aaron and the Levites, and have made ye priests after the manner of the nations of other lands, so that whosoever cometh to consecrate himself with a young bullock and 7 rams, the same may be a priest unto them that are no gods. But as for us, the Lord is our God, and we have not forsaken him and the priests which minister unto the Lord. All the sons of Aaron and the Levites wait upon their business. You understand? It's our business in our community to look over our people. You understand? That's why it's not working, because we're not being able to handle our business amongst ourselves.
Thank you.